The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Hello, my name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the broadcast for this 30th day of March, the 2022. We got ourselves a battle royale in the National League West. The Houston Astros and Los Angeles Dodgers going at it on a cold for LA Day on this first day of summer, June 21st, 1985. Yep, you can sing Will Smith's Summertime, but don't slap yourself if you do. The Dodgers are in first place at 37-25, and they will go with Oral Hershiser. A win today for the Bulldog will be number 10 for him, and of course that probably will earn him a trip to the All-Star game in Minneapolis. Mike Scott, I just noticed this, is going to go on really short rest. And in fact, the computer has him at 20 pitches. Oh boy, I wonder what mess up that was. So, advantage Dodgers. The Astros are 36-28. The Dodgers are 37-25. Ooh, let's see what the computer messed up with now. Excuse me. As we get ready for it's time for Dodger baseball. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Replay 85 today from Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles, California. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Houston Astros, and today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. Well, I think the computer done messed up with Mike Scott somehow. He's only listed for 20 pitches. And before we get to Oral Hershiser, why is Scott only listed at 20 pitches? Because he pitched yesterday 2/3 of an inning in relief and took the loss against Atlanta. I can't change it now. Wow. Anyway, so that's the story for that. Oral Hershiser doesn't do relief, or at least not this early in the season. He's making his 14th start of the year and is 9-3 with an earned run average of .309. He last pitched against the Astros last Saturday at the Astrodome in a loss, a 4-0 loss. He went 8 innings through 143 pitches, 8 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He gave up a homer. He didn't walk anybody and struck out 12. So 96 innings for Hershiser, 77 hits allowed, 38 runs, 33 earned. He gave up 6 homers. He walked 24 and has struck out 64. He has faced the Astros now 3 times. This will be his 4th. 24 innings, 21 hits, 12 runs, all earned. Walked 5, struck out 16, 1-1 with an earned run average of 4.5. Hershiser, 27, throws the fastball at 88. And the ground ball plus pitcher seems to struggle against the Astros. And this is how Houston will line up for this one. Billy Doran leads off at second base. Kevin Bass in right will bat second. Danny Walling at first will bat third. Glenn Davis on the bench. Jose Cruz is in left. He'll clean up. Jerry Mumphrey in center will bat fifth. Phil Garner at third will go sixth. Andy Ashby will bat seventh and catch. Dickie Thorne at short will bat eighth. And you know what? We're going to restart this game because I want to edit Mike Scott's pitches. He should not be down to 20 pitches. He only threw 18 yesterday. So hold tight. We'll be right back to start this one in a moment. Doing some cleaning up here. You haven't missed anything. We're editing something here. Happy Wednesday, John. How are you? The computer's screwed up.
Play ball.
No, the computer doesn't think it's a happy Wednesday. What I had to do... No, I mean, the computer used him out of the pen last night against Atlanta. How you doing, midlife crisis? And he was due to pitch today, and because he only threw 18 pitches, his pitch count today was 20. So I don't know what his regular pitch count is, but I had to edit it to 100. Because 18 pitches would not have knocked him down to pretty much throwing one inning. So we gave you the lineups already. Defensively for the Dodgers, Guerrero a 4 and a 5 in left, Kenny Landreau a 4 and a 2 in center, and R.J. Reynolds is a 4 and a 3 in right. That Dodger outfield is not great. Dave Anderson a 7 at third, Mariano Duncan a 5 at short. The weather, by the way, is considerably better this time around. It's jumped from 66 to 83, and hardly a breath of wind. Bill Russell a 5 at second. Greg Brock, a 6 at first. Sosha, a 7 and a 6 behind the plate. And Hershiser is a 7 on the mound with a 903. Fielding percentage. Billy Doran has an 11-game hitting streak at 285, 5 homers, and 36 RBI. And so after they got some coffee into Mike Scott, because someone suggested he may have had a few too many last night, we're good to go. Pitch to Doran, and there's a fly ball to right center. Landreau going back. 1 out. Brings up Kevin Bass, 271, 7 homers, and 21 RBI. My computer thinks too much, Tribe fan. Pitch from Hershiser. Bass strikes out. So a good start for the Bulldog. Here's Denny Walling. 317, 5 homers, and 20 RBI. For Houston, this is game 65. For the Dodgers, game 63. Coffee or a Neil? That's true. You got to get that split finger in there, don't you? So, you would think in the land of Botox that someone would have been able to have found Mike Scott or his catcher an emery board or 3. Pitch to Walling. He walked him. So Hershiser snaps the glove. A 3-0 fastball missed high and upstairs. Here's Jose Cruz. I guess high and upstairs would be one and the same. Cruz at 298, 6 homers, and 27 RBI. Oral delivers. There's a ground ball to Duncan. He'll underhand it to Russell for the sure out, and that will retire the side. Astros get nothing. They leave a runner on after half an inning, no score. So for whatever reason, here's Mike Scott with his 100 pitch count. He's making his 14th start, and here's why he was pulled last night. Well, Joe, you got one from Joe's back pocket. Sure, Phil's with the Yankees. Back pocket. See, I read it as pocket. It's amazing. Scott threw relief last night. 18 pitches and was lit up pretty hard. 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 3 runs, all earned, a homer, a walk, and a strikeout in the loss. His last start came against the Dodgers in a loss on the 16th, so 5 days ago, the Sunday game. 7 innings, 116 pitches, 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned. 2 homers, he walked 3 and struck out 4. Overall, 95 2/3, 82 hits, 36 runs, 33 earned, 12 homers now. He has walked 28 and struck out 69. His third start against the Dodgers, he's 1-1 with an ERA of 3. 15 innings, 13 hits, 5 runs, all earned. He has walked 3 and struck out 9. The lineup for L.A., Mariano Duncan leads off at short. Bill Russell at second will bat second. Kenny Landreau in center will bat third. Pedro Guerrero in left will bat fourth. Greg Brock at first goes fifth. R.J. Reynolds in right will bat sixth. Mike Scioscia behind the plate bats seventh. Dave Anderson will write a column and play third base. He'll bat eighth. And Hershiser, who threw 12 pitches in his half of the first, will bat ninth. Defensively for Houston, Jose Cruz is a 6 and a 7 in left. I've got to use my secret x-ray vision for this. Jerry Mumphrey is a 3 and a 5 in center. Kevin Bass a 4 and a 6 in right. Astros are playing for the bunt. Garner a 4 at third. Dickie Thorne a 6 at short. Billy Doran a 6 at second. Denny Walling a 5 at first. Alan Ashby a 7 and a 7 behind the plate. And Mike Scott might have drank in too many 7 and 7s after that loss last night to Atlanta, as a 7 on the mound with a .956 fielding percentage. Duncan's not going to bunt because Houston wants him to. 232, 2 homers, and 15 RBI. And Mariano draws the walk. Brings up Bill Russell. Steeler fan, how are you? Bill at 238 and 5 RBI. Scott throws to first, and Duncan is back. Steeler fan brought the Lone Star to Southern California with him. He's rooting for the Astros. Goes to the plate. Russell hits a ground ball to first. Walling just has one play, takes it to the bag himself, and Duncan will go to second. Actually, you know what? He stepped on first and then threw to second, and Duncan was lollygagging. Oh, Tommy is upset. Lasorda has a few words for Mariano Duncan as he heads back to the dugout. That should not have been a double play. Walling looked and didn't think he'd get Duncan, so he went for the shore out at first. And then Duncan just was kind of half speeding it down there, and Dickie Thorne was by the bag. So the ultra-rare 3-6 double play. Wowzers. And the Astro contingent will cheer that. What a smart play by Denny Walling. Here's Kenny Landreau at 312, 6 homers and 33 RBI. It's a good thing we don't have the microphones in the dugout because Lasorda is doing some surgery to Mariano Duncan's backside. My goodness, what a dumb play. Pitch to Landreau. There's a ground ball to first. Walling underhands it to Scott, and that will retire the side. The Dodgers get nothing across. This one's been wild and woolly so far. We had to sober up Mike Scott before the start, and Mariano Duncan is kind of sheepish as he takes out the glove to go back to short. After one, no score. Never seen that in this game, gang. Here's Jerry Mumphrey, 275 homers and 23 RBI. Lasorda is still steamed in the Dodger dugout. Hershiser winds and deals right to back up the box. Hershiser gets off the mound, throws to Brock, 1 out. Brings up Garner, 235, 4 homers and 25 RBI. We did. You're absolutely right. And the last time we had the Astros and the Dodgers, it was a 9. Yes, we had a 9-3 double play by Glenn Davis in his first game of the year. In fact, he had 2 assists from right field and then was promptly moved to first base about a week later, somebody told me. His natural position, at least in the majors, was not right field. Pitch to Garner. Struck him out. Hershiser got him to chase a fastball on an 0-2. So 2 out for Ashby at 262, 5 homers and 14 RBI. Sounds like a commercial. Expect the unexpected right here on Retro Sports Network. I see some goats in the parking lot. I wonder if they will get in. Pitch to Ashby. Hershiser lost him. Socha tried to frame a 3-1, but it was upstairs. On the fastball, here's Dickie Thon. Dickie Thon's hitting .211 with a homer and 4 RBI. Ashby is a statue. Ground ball to Russell. He'll throw to Brock for the out, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. The Astros leave another runner on. Bottom 2 at Dodger Stadium, no score. So here's Guerrero. It'll be Guerrero, Brock, and Reynolds. Paging D. Scott Howard. Please come to the courtesy phone. D. Scott Howard to the courtesy phone. Well, I'm assuming he's the one that brought the goats. Petey at 319, 13 homers and 37 RBI. And Guerrero rips that one down the left field line. He's going to get 2 out of this one. Cruz chases, picks it up. The throw to second is going to be late. In fact, it's cut off by Thon. And for Guerrero, that's his 9th double of the year. First base hit for anybody. Here's Brock. Greg at 252. 7 homers and 22 RBI. Zalapsky Smurf, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope all is okay in your world. Pitch to Brock. Walked him. 3-1 was just a bit outside. Someone tries to sneak some more emery boards in. Here's R.J. Reynolds at 256. 3 triples and 9 RBI. We might have a wild card game for you tomorrow. On paper, it's supposed to be Chicago and St. Louis. But when you see the standings, it may get switched to the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. Oh, you've been watching the replays. Back to work. Did you get some vacation time or were you sick? Pitch to Reynolds. RJ slaps this one over Walling into right. Bass will pick it up. Guerrero has good speed. He rounds third. But with nobody out, you don't run yourself into an out. And so there'll be bases loaded for Mike Socha. Oh, yeah, someone, John Goodell, gave you the sub. And I now have the most subs I've ever had on Twitch. I got 14. And D. Scott Howard, we're just talking about you. Oh, you've worked from home the last 2 years. Oh! You mean there is a world outside of COVID? Don't forget, you can attach your Prime to Retro Sports Network. It won't cost you anything if you haven't already. And I get money. Money's good. Socha, 264, triple, no homers, and 15 RBI. Bases loaded, nobody out in the second. Scott from the stretch, and he walks home a run. So Guerrero will score. Bases loaded for Dave Anderson, 181. A homer and 8 RBI. 1-0 Dodgers here in the second. Scott, if you missed the open, pitched last night in Atlanta and took the loss on 18 pitches. So we had to edit his expected pitch count to make the start today. Pitch to Anderson. There's a base hit right side. Brock will score. Reynolds will, that's pretty shallow, hold at third because Bass has a good arm. And it's 2-0 Dodgers with nobody out. And they're expecting Hershiser to squeeze. Worrell at 0.69 and an RBI. Earl's going to swing here. Scott needs an out. Pitch to Hershiser. He's not going to get one. That's into center field. Reynolds will score. What's Sosha going to do? Mumphrey's got an average arm. Sosha's going to score. Anderson goes to third. And it's 4-0 LA. We saw the goats in the parking lot. We knew you were here. And that'll bring in up Mariano Duncan, who will walk to start the game. So Scott, 42 pitches for 9 batters, an inning, 4 hits, and 3 walks. John asks, is what happened with his pitch count common? I seem to see that when I'm doing a season on Action PC. For whatever reason, the Astros must have ran out of live relievers, because Scott would have been on short rest, but he would have had something like 70, 80 pitches. And somehow the computer ignored that he was supposed to start today. So no, I really haven't quite seen that before. But he did go once in relief. It must have been towards the end of the year. And so, let's call him up here. Always pull when tired. And so what you do is you just kind of now make the check. You don't pitch in relief. So that'll take care of that. Of course, in days gone by, that would have been a throw day for him anyway. So, yeah, you see it once in a while. I've never seen it to that extent. I've never had to edit a pitch count for a pitcher before. And I'm still not quite sure, if he only threw 18 pitches a day before, why he'd only be able to throw 20 today. Anyway, Duncan walked to start the game. Runners on first and third, and there's a base hit. Scott's not long for this game anyway, as that's a single, and it's 5-0 Dodgers, and there's still nobody out in the second. So if Russell gets on, we'll yank Scott. Happened to John with Tiant in your 72 replay. Second game of a doubleheader, and the PC pitched him in relief in game 1. Well, yikes. I mean, one of the reasons why we do as played is you really should get about accurate bullpen usage, and that's actually a challenge. You go to yesterday, we had the walk-off, and Stanley had thrown 38 pitches the night before, and I didn't really want to use him after that. So Crawford was there. I mean, if you needed to use Stanley, he was fine, but 38's a lot of work. And of course, the Tigers walked it off in the bottom of the ninth. Russell struck out his first time up. This might be 2. Doran only goes to first. Couldn't get the speedy Duncan this time. And Tommy doesn't beat the snot out of him after that. So 1 out for Landro, who's 0 for 1. There's some times that the AI gets fooled. And apparently, this is one of those times. Scott deals. Landro's 0 for 1, and that'll do it for Scott, as that will be a bouncer into right field. Hershiser will score. Duncan's going to run on Bass. Mariano's already in trouble once today. Landro's digging for second. The throw to the plate is not even close. The throw to second, and Landro is out. So they get Landro trying to go to second. It's 7-0 Dodgers here in the second. And so all that editing from Mike Scott did no good. And his ERA is now 3.70. Here's Guerrero. He doubled and scored in this inning. And he walked. Oh, come on. Just get the out, will you? Here's Greg Brock. Once before, when I was playing, this was years ago, popped up, and you edit the pitch count, and I think it doesn't quite register with the game that you've edited the pitch count. Brock walked and scored in this inning. Scott deals, and that'll do it for Scott. And that will do it for Scott. Ron Mathis. Wonder if it's any relation to Johnny. Chances are, probably not. So here's Ron Mathis, who can throw up to 75 pitches. Mathis is a spot starter for Houston, making his 12th appearance of the year. He's 0-3 with an 8.13 ERA. Fastball pitcher at 87. Doesn't favor the fly ball nor the ground ball. Hasn't faced the Dodgers this year. Last pitched on the 18th in a 13-12 loss to Atlanta. 2 2/3, 72 pitches. I'm sure the Astros are salivating at this one. 9 hits, 8 runs, all earned. 2 homers, 2 walks, and a strikeout. So you got to wonder if Houston in the third inning is going to be waving the white flag. 34 in the third innings, 49 hits, 39 runs, 31 earned, 3 homers. He's walked 22 and struck out 15. So first and second and 2 out for R.J. Reynolds, who has singled and scored here in the second. Mathis delivers, and there's a fly ball to left center. Mumphrey going back. Jerry to the base of the track finally ends the inning. But it was a busy Beaver one for the Dodgers. They get 7 runs on 6 hits and strand 2. We go to the third, 7-0 L.A. I'll eat my hat if Houston pinch hits here for Mathis. 0 for 7 on the replay. So you've spotted Oral Hershiser's 7 runs. And no, the Goats can't go on the field neat. Mathis will stay in the game and strike out. A 1-2 change just below the belt. And so the opening 9 for Hershiser, 36 pitches, 2 1/3, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Billy Doran is 0 for 1, and somehow he's riding an 11-game hitting streak. Ground ball to Duncan. Mariano across the way. 2 out. Kevin Bass struck out his first time up. So, midlife, what happened for you with Tion? Did you go through an edit, or what did you do? Bass at 269, 7 homers and 20 RBI. I don't think I read that this first time up. Pitch to Kevin. Line drive to Russell, and Bill will snare it. And that will retire the side. Houston goes quietly in the third. Bottom 3, 7-0 Dodgers. So Scioscia, Anderson, and Hershiser. Mathis going to pitch for a while, I would think. Scioscia walked home a run in that wild second and then later scored. And he draws a walk again. Brings up Dave Anderson, who had an RBI single and later scored. 3-1 fastball was way outside. Gets away from Ashby, and Scioscia will take the freebie. He'll move up 90, and the count is full. Pitch to Anderson. He lost him. Well, Steeler fan is now drinking his allotted 6-pack of Lone Star. Here's Hershiser. Hershiser had it up 2 RBI single in the second. This time he's going to square. They're playing for the bunt. Hershiser delivers. Mathis off the mound. Throws to Doran covering. It worked. So second and third, 1 out for Duncan. Mariano has walked, singled, driven in a run, and scored, and was thrown out on the strangest double play you'll ever see. Grinned and Barrett, but got lit up for 8 and 4 1/3. Dolt is the right answer. Steeler fan says gonna need more than 6 to get through this. Well, You see that light out there in center field behind the hedges? That is, as we've talked about before, an active 76 gas station. They might have something there. Or you could drink the Bud or Corona that they probably served at Dodger Stadium. Pitch to Duncan. He's not going to bunt. That's into right field. Bass will make the catch. Socha should tag here. And will score without a throw. So it's 8-0 with 2 out. D. Scott Howard has remained awful quiet with his team up 8 runs. Here's Russell. He's 0 for 2. He is grounded into a double play. Pitch to Bill. Line drive. Foul. Third base side. Somebody from Santa Barbara made that catch. A ball and 2 strikes. To Russ. Mercy rule time. There you go. Pitch to Russell. There's a liner in the right center. Mumphrey has it played perfectly, and that will retire the side. A run on no hits and no errors. Dodgers leave a runner on. We go to the 4th. 8-0 LA. Goats don't gloat. Now that sounds like a bumper sticker if you ask me. So we'll be Walling, Cruz, and Mumphrey to face Hershiser here in the 4th. Denny, one of the 2 walks allowed by Oral. And there's a fly ball to left. Guerrero going back. 1 out. Here's Jose Cruz. Jose is 0 for 1. Our dear old friend Lorenzo would have had a field day at this and then complained that I didn't show enough Dodger games. Pitch to Cruz. Struck him out. So Hershiser's in a groove. He got Cruz to chase the changeup. Here's Mumphrey. Jerry's 0 for 1. And there's a ground ball to third. Anderson across the way. And that will retire the side. Hershiser's dealing. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's 8-0 LA. And you see why this game is really important for the Dodgers. They've lost 3 straight. And the lead to Houston has been whittled down to 2. San Diego, Cincinnati, San Francisco, and Atlanta in the West. In the East, the Cardinals are up 9.5 over Montreal and the Cubs. The Mets are now below 500. The Pirates are doing about what we expect. And the Randall Cunningham watch is in full swing in Philadelphia. In the American League West, Kansas City by 5, but the Angels have won 6 straight. And Texas, the Chi Sox in Seattle. In the East, the reason why we might switch that one out tomorrow because the Red Sox are in Toronto, and the lead over the Tigers for the Blue Jays is now 1.5 games. The Yankees have found the wrong time to go backwards. The Orioles are at 500. But they're 8-20 on the road. Landreau is 1 for 2. Kenny has 2 RBI and a single. And that came in the second, I believe. Mathis starts the inning with a pop-up left side. A high pop-up, a rainmaker, if you will. Garner on the grass, 1 out. Still 80 degrees here at Dodger Stadium, and the wind is blowing in at 1 from left center. That's pretty close to still. Here's Pedro Guerrero. He has walked, doubled, and scored. And he draws the walk. So Ron Mathis is not making the ball sing like Johnny, but just kind of standing out there like a big old bloated TV like Curtis. That's his 3rd walk. Here's Brock. Has walked twice and scored. Guerrero not going anywhere. Brock into right center field. Back goes Bass to the track, and that is off the wall. Guerrero will round third. He's going to score. Bass throws it in the infield. It's 9-0 on the 9th double of the year by Greg Brock. So here's R.J. Reynolds. He's 1 for 2 with a run scored. Some days we get nail biters, and some days we open up the folder. What do you guys want to talk about? Pitch to Reynolds. R.J. up the middle. Doran with a nice stop in front of the bag over to first for the out. Brock moves to third. 2 out for Scioscia, who hasn't even taken the bat off his shoulders yet. Walked and scored twice, driven in a run. Brock on third. Got him. So Scioscia still won't take the bat off his shoulders. Inning is over. Dodgers get another run on a hit and no errors. Hershiser goes to the 5th in a 9-0 game. So Garner, Ashby, and Thorne. Phil struck out his first time up. Hershiser has fanned 4 through 4. Ground ball to short. Duncan. 1 out. Brings up Ashby, who walked. One of the 2 base runners that Hershiser has put on. Orel winds and deals. Ground ball to Russell. Over to first, 2 out. When? After this game, we'll be doing the next podcast, talking about being rusty in games. Here's Dickie Thon. He's 0 for 1. Hershiser winds and deals. That's a pop-up. Duncan by the edge of the grass. And Hershiser has cleaned through 5. Vin Scully didn't believe in jinxes, and apparently Dave Cook doesn't either. Halfway home, it's 9-0 LA. Soon. Well, if you joined us late, here's how we got here. The second inning for LA was crazy. They sent 12 to the plate. They scored 7 on 6 hits and 4 walks. Started with a bases loaded walk to Mike Scioscia. Then Dave Anderson singled home Greg Brock. Orel Hershiser with a 2-run single to make it 4-0. Mariano Duncan singled home Anderson to make it 5-0. Kenny Landreau singled home 2 to make it 7-0. In the third, Mariano Duncan hit a sac fly to make it 8-0. And then Greg Brock doubled home Pedro Guerrero to make it 9-0. But now the hidden story in this one is Orel Hershiser. He's got bagels, where the hit column should be after 5. So Mike Scott, we tried to get him 100 pitches, but oh, goodness gracious. I think he drank some goat piss early on. Inning and 2/3, 6 hits, 7 runs, all earned, and 5 walks. Ron Mathis is trying to hold the barn door closed, but it was already over. Over-under on May 20th before the first complete game? I'll take the under. Only because Max Scherzer's first appearance with the Mets is going to be against the Nationals. And I think they'll let him go as long as he wants. Or we could have a no-hitter by someone we don't know about the first week of April. Here's Dave Anderson. He singled, scored a run, walked, and drove in a run. Pitch to Dave is right back up the box. Mathis over to Walling. 1 out. Apparently, Mike Scott is waiting for Dave and I to tape Digital Dice because this appearance for Mike was rather rusty. Here's Hershiser. He singled, sacrificed, has driven in 2 and scored once. That's a base hit, left center field. Mumphrey will pick it up. Goat piss, you may actually hear that on a Fortnite stream. That's right. Yeah, you might actually hear that one. Here's Mariano Duncan. He has singled, driven in 2, scored once, and walked. Hershiser on first. That's the 8th hit for the Dodgers. Pitch to Mariano. There's a line drive that's going to sink in front of Cruz in left field. Hershiser will hold at second. Here's Bill Russell. He's 0 for 3. One out. Ashby and Mathis go out to have a few words. Mathis has pitched reasonably well. Popped up, shallow center. Mumphrey rides the Schwinn for the out. Hershiser tags and holds. 2 out for Landreau, who's 1 for 3, driven in 2. Trust me, I don't slap people. As a balding man myself, I just don't slap people. So Hershiser on second, Duncan on first. Pitch to Landreau. Gets away from Ashby and everybody moves up 90. So a full count. Mathis has gone 3 innings and is due to lead off the top of the 6th. Pitch to Landreau. Ground ball to Garner. Phil throws it across the way, and they'll get Kenny. And that will retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. I'd imagine a pinch hitter. Here we go to the 6th. 9-0 Dodgers. So Mathis struck out in his lone plate appearance. He will not stay in the game. Jim Pankovitz will pinch hit, and he's a good one. 273, 2 homers, and 4 RBI as a pinch hitter. Overall, 235, 2 homers, and 9 RBI. Hershiser starts the 6th with a strikeout. A 1-2 curve that bit on the outside corner. And so for Hershiser, his opening 18 on 68 pitches. 5 in the 3rd innings. 2 walks and 5 strikeouts. And a whole series of bagels up on that scoreboard. Doran is 0 for 2. Hershiser winds and delivers. There's a ground ball to third. Anderson goes across the way. 2 out. And so if there's a reason for you to keep watching a blowout, it's to keep an eye on Mr. Hershiser. Here's Bass. He's 0 for 2 with the strikeout. Orel winds and delivers, and he walked him. So that's just the 3rd base runner for Houston. And that'll bring up Denny Walling, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. Someone might want to check to see if Steeler fan is feeling okay. He went through his allotted number of Lone Star. I don't think we actually have anyone here from California today, do we? Pitch to Walling. There's a ground ball to Russell. Bill throws to first. You'll see the big banner now. Orel Hershiser is not allowed to hit through 6. Bill Dawley coming in to pitch. It's 9-0 L.A. Dawley's had a good replay. 2-1 with an ERA of 3.45. And it's 2-1. Steeler fan walked to that Union 76. Used his Visa card and brought back another 12 in the stadium. How about that? Dolly in his 26th appearance of the year, pitched last night against Atlanta, faced one batter on 4 pitches and retired him. 31 in the third innings, 36 hits, 13 runs, 12 earned, 4 homers. He has walked 19 and struck out 19. Against the Dodgers, he's gone 5 times, 4 in the third, 3 hits. A run it was earned. He has walked 3 and struck out 5. Dodgers have a 2.08 ERA against him. Remember, these teams play 18 times this year, and you can't get much more even than 5-4 with the Astros leading. Houston has taken 4 out of 6 at the Astrodome, and the Dodgers have won 2 out of 3 here in LA. So Guerrero doubled and has walked twice. Scored twice, too. Ground ball to third. Garner snap throw to first. That's close, and it won't get him. That got away. Walling had to leave the bag on a high throw, and Guerrero is safe on the air. Here's Greg Brock. Brock doubled. Has walked twice, driven in a run, and scored. Did you miss anything? I don't think you did. Guerrero's not stealing, up 9 runs. Fly ball to right in the corner. Bass in the foul territory and makes the catch. A nice play as Kevin reached in. So 1 out for Reynolds. RJ is 1 for 3. He has singled and scored. In the shallow right center, Mumphrey coming in will make the catch. Here's Scioscia. Mike 0 for 1. He has walked twice and struck out. That's right, there's finally a 1 on that Astros line score. That's not necessarily something that I'd brag about, but there is a 1 there nonetheless. Pitch to Scioscia. There's a ground ball to Dorn, and there's going to be a 2 there in a second. I'm not sure what time that plane came in after the Atlanta game, but Houston just doesn't seem ready for this. So the second error for Houston. 2 on and 2 out for Dave Anderson, who was 1 for 2. He has singled, driven in a run, and scored, and walked once. Pitch to Anderson. Struck him out, so Dolly gets out of it. No runs, no hits, no errors. Dodgers leave on 2. We go to the 7th. It's oral time, 9-0 LA. So Cruz, Mumphrey, and Garner here in the 7th. Jose is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Right back up the box, over to first, 1 out. So there's an uneasiness now in this crowd at Dodger Stadium. Here's Mumphrey, he's 0 for 2. Hershiser winds and deals, and there's a hard ground ball. Behind the bag is Russell, 2 out. So right now, the story is not the score. Here's Garner. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Fred Sanford, for me, in Game 5 of the 49 World Series last year, the clincher, brought a no-hitter into the 9th inning. But that's as close as we've ever gotten on a stream. Oh, by the way, the Yankees won that and won the World Series. Pitch to Garner. Walked him. So if there's anything Hershiser's done wrong is sometimes he's danced with the strike zone, and that cutter missed up high on a 3-1. So that brings up Ashby, 0 for 1 with a walk. So one of the rare times today that Hershiser has had to work out of the stretch. The ground ball to Russell, over to first, and everything's intact going to the 8th. Stretch time, 9-0 Dodgers. So how much are you going to pay me to pinch hit for Hershiser? He's 2 for 2. He has singled twice, driven in 2. That came in the second in that 7-run outburst. And has scored. Dolly starts the inning. Hershiser right back up the middle. Dolly throws to first. 1 out. Brings up Mariano Duncan. Mariano has singled twice, walked once. Driven in 2, now a 17 RBI and a run scored. To second, Billy Doran is there in the hole over to first, 2 out. Here's Russell, he's 0 for 4. You don't dare change a thing on the Dodger defense right now. Pitch from Dolly, and Russell draws the walk. And I think, has everyone reached? Everyone's reached base in this game for LA. Here's Landreau. Has 2 RBI, 35 now on the season, and is 1 for 4. Ashby and Dolly have a few words. Bill from the stretch. In the left field, Cruz. Way back. And off the wall. Russell will round third and score like the Dodgers need another run. And it's 10-0 LA. But remember, goats don't gloat. Here's Guerrero. PD 1 for 2, a double. Has scored twice and walked twice. Landreau is the lone Dodger not to score. But he's on second base here with 2 out. Steeler fan going back to the spirit of 76. Here's the pitch to Pedro, and that's a ground ball foul. It rolls in the Dodger dugout, and Tommy has a few words. 0-2 the count. In the left center. Cruz. Way back. Landreau's going to score now. That ball is long gone. So Guerrero with an exclamation point home run, and it's 12-0. And because we would show all the home runs again, goodness gracious. That was an Energizer Bunny home run. That ball just kept going and going and going. So, yep, Auntie Clara visiting the goats, and yep, Mr. Howard, they've all scored now. Here's Frank Depino and his 7.77 ERA. 2-2 on the replay. 29 years old, a fastball pitcher at 93 and a fly ball plus pitcher. He got the win 2 nights ago in Atlanta. He threw 1 pitch and got the win. I wonder why people complain about the win stat. 24 in the third innings, 36 hits, 21 runs, all earned. He's given up 5 homers, 18 walks, 14 strikeouts. Petey played his A-ball in Bellingham. Nice. Here's Brock, 1 for 2. An RBI, a run scored, and 2 walks. But the big story in the game is on the Astro line score. Pitch to Brock. Struck him out. But the Dodgers take advantage of the Guerrero home run. And now everybody in the lineup is scored. We go to the 8th. It's 12-0 LA. So Dickie Thon, pitcher's spot, and Billy Doran here in the 8th. Thon is 0 for 2. Hershiser starts with a line drive foul. And somebody from Long Beach made that catch. The count is 0-2. Thon waves it back and forth. Ground ball to short. Duncan, snap throw to first. 1 out. Orel is saying you're going to be sorry if you left this one early. Depino hasn't batted yet in the replay. And Harry Spillman will continue that streak. Spillman, as a pinch hitter, hitting 182 with 3 RBI. 149 with 8 RBI on the replay. Hershiser's pitch. And that's how it's going to end, isn't it? A pinch hitter by a 200 hitting batter. A bad play by Bill Russell, and the Astros finally have a hit. So Hershiser gets a long round of warm applause as he carried a no-hitter into the 8th inning. So it's, if you had Harry Spillman breaking up a no-hitter today, we're going to Vegas. Here's Doran. He's 0 for 3. So Hershiser, his opening 27 on 101 pitches, 7 1/3 innings, a hit, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts. And to console himself for losing the no-hitter, he is now clinging to a 12-run lead. And he walked Doran. And so Tommy would like to keep him in there just because he's throwing a shutout. Here's Bass. Kevin is 0 for 2, a walk and a strikeout. First time today the Astros have had a runner on second. Socha says, it's okay. I think you're going to win your 10th here. Hershiser deals. Line drive to third. Anderson's there. Everyone else gets back. And there's 2 out. For Walling, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. Ground little number down to Russell. This time Billy will make it. Throws to first. And the Astros leave on 2. Dave Smith coming in the game just because someone has to pitch. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 12-0 L.A. So Smith, the closer for the Astros, 30 years old, a fastball pitcher at 84, making his 28th appearance of the year. He is 4-2 with 12 saves and an ERA of 1.32. Clearly not a save situation. Pitched 2 nights ago against the Braves. Went 1 inning. 8 pitches. Allowed a hit. So 34 innings for Smith. 33 hits. 6 runs, 5 earned. 1 homer. That came against the Braves on the 18th. He walked 4 and struck out 16. So Reynolds, Socha, and Anderson. RJ 1 for 4 with a run scored. Struck him out. He checked his swing on a 1-2 curve for strike 3. Brings up Socha. Mike has yet to take the bat off his shoulder. Has walked twice and struck out. He has scored twice and walked with the bases loaded. And he draws another walk. Easy night's work for Mike. Here's Dave Anderson, 1 for 3. Single, an RBI, a walk, a strikeout, and a run scored. Pitch to Dave. Ground ball to third, might be 2. Garner, Doran for 1, Walling for 2. So, Hershiser trying to close out this one hitter. And, of course, Orel Hershiser, 98% sure he's going to be the digital lights player of the game. It'll be Cruz, Mumphrey, and Garner to face Orel here in the 9th. After the Guerrero homer, gave CPR to a busty woman who I thought was hit by the ball. I was in right field, though, so I got slapped. Well, that's what happens when you drink mass quantities of alcohol. Cruz is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. And he goes down again. He swung on and missed on the fastball. On a 1-2, that's 6 for Hershiser. Steeler fan is wearing a Bud Light box for a rally cap. Congratulations on joining the Jonathan Papelbon fan club. I believe Papelbon wore one of those during a World Series parade for the Red Sox. Here's Mumphrey, 0 for 3. Hershiser winds and delivers. Ground ball to Russell. Over to first. 2 out. So Hershiser has thrown an absolute ruby red gem here. Garner, one of the 5 batters that Hershiser's walked. He is struck out. He's 0 for 2. He winds and delivers, and there's a ground ball to third. Anderson over to Brock, and Orel Hershiser has thrown a one-hitter. A big old grin from Orel. Mike Scioscia gives him a handshake and a hug as Tommy darts out the dugout. What a performance. When I was a kid, the way that Hershiser would dissect hitters, I gave him the nickname Oral Surgery. And today, he performs surgery on the Astros offense. The Dodgers go to 38-25, 12 runs, 11 hits, no errors. They left on 8. The Astros, no runs, 1 hit, 2 errors, and they left on 6. And really, the only thing you got to read from this one is Orel's numbers. 9 innings, 1 hit. He walked 5 and struck out 6, and he had 15 pitches to go if he needed it. We'll leave the Houston stuff on the screen. Mike Scott is back hitting the 7-7s. Scott falls to 7-5. He did have 100 pitches, but he had minus stuff. Orel Hershiser, you'll see him in Minneapolis in the All-Star game. He's a 10-game winner. And remember, he took a no-hitter into the 8th inning. The Astros came into this game 3rd in batting average in the NL at .263. That's now how close is one game that as a team he dropped their average 3 points. The Dodgers ERA stays at .290. And his 10th win is now tied with John Tudor. The ERA is now 8th in the National League at .283. Now the rest of this Friday in baseball. Cardinals beat the Cubs 2-1-11. Ricky Horton goes to 2-0. Larry Sorensen 3-2. Durham 2 for 4 with his 5th of the year. Reds beat the Braves 9-5. Tom Browning 7-3. Shields falls to 0-4. Browning on a night when I guess pitchers did well. 4 for 4 with a triple. Goodness gracious, Buffy St. Marie, they pound out 16 hits to the Reds. Phillies beat the Pirates 4-3-11. Kent DeColvey exacts some revenge on his old team, gets the win. Rod Scurry, his first loss of the year. Steve Jeltz 2 for 4 with a triple. Yankees beat the Tigers 4-2. Phil Niekro, speaking of Emery Board, goes to 8-5. O'Neill falls to 1-2. Ron Hassey, 2 for 4, hits his 6th of the year. Expos beat the Mets 7-5. Mickey Mailer beat Rick Aguilera, both 1-1. Timmy Raines, 3 for 3 with 2 stolen bases. Jays beat the Red Sox 3-2. Gary Lavelli gets his first win, 1-1. Bruce Hurst falls to 4-4. George Bell, 2 for 3, a triple and a stolen base. Twins beat the Rangers 6-3. Ken Schramm 6-7. Charlie Huff 11-4. Roy Smalley a home run and a walk, 1 for 3. White Sox beat the Angels 6-1. Bannister goes to 4-6. Kirk McCaskill loses his first game. Dark day in UVM history with that one. He falls to 2-1. Harold Baines, the Hall of Famer, 4 for 4 with 2 doubles. The Orioles shut out the Brewers 4-0. Mike Boddicker, and I apologize to any Mike Boddicker fans I've upset before. He was a good pitcher. 6-7 now on the year. Beat Teddy Higuera, who's now 4-5. Len Cicada, just another day, 1 for 4, his second of the year, and drove in 2. Second part of the doubleheader, Atlanta beat Cincinnati. Oh my goodness, that must have been so much fun to sleep through on TBS. Atlanta won Game 2, 8-7. Rich Dedman Don't Wear Plaid is now 2-0 on the year. They call Jay Mr. Tibbs. He falls to 7-8. Yeah, Harry Spillman, would you imagine that he's the one that broke up the no-hitter? Ramirez goes 3 for 4, so the Braves and Reds split. San Francisco beat San Diego 8-3. Vida Blue goes to 2-2. Greg Lefferts falls to 1-4. Steve Garvey, 2 for 4, his 7th of the year, and a double. So not only did Hershiser strike out 6 in his one-hitter, the Astros walked 10 in their 12-0 loss. And last but not least, Oakland 6, Cleveland 4. Jay Howell wins his first. He's 1-7. Waddle falls to 2-2. Davis, 2 for 4, his 4th of the year, with a double. And we will switch up the games. It'll be the Red Sox and the Blue Jays for you tomorrow at lunch. And what is surprisingly a tight battle now in the American League East. So until then, I hope you enjoyed it almost as much as Harry Spillman would have. I'm Ron Juckett. We'll talk to you tomorrow for the Red Sox and the Jays. Have a good day, everybody.